My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't even get my thumbprint to open the banking app. 3 tries. 4. And when it finally opened, I just stood there in my kitchen, staring at a balance that said $0. $0. In an account that had $75,000 in it 2 days before. I want to tell this whole thing in order. I'm a teacher, I like things in order. So, let me start there. 8 years married. Mark and I. He did electrical work, ran his own little outfit, 3 trucks, good reputation around town. I taught 3rd grade. We had a house with a room we never furnished, because furnishing it felt like admitting we needed it to be a nursery someday and not just a spare room. We'd been trying for 4 years. 2 miscarriages. A doctor who finally said the word if, like it was a door opening. And we opened a savings account for it. We even named it, which I know sounds silly now. We called it Baby W. Every overtime job Mark took, every extra tutoring session I picked up in the summer, went straight into Baby W. $75,000 over almost 3 years. That account was the most hopeful thing I owned. I used to open the app just to look at the number, not to spend it, just to look at it and feel like something good was actually finally coming. I remember the night we opened it. We were sitting on the kitchen floor. We did a lot of important talking on that floor, apparently, with a laptop between us, and Mark typed Baby W into the account name field and turned the screen toward me like he was showing me a sonogram instead of a savings account. There, he said. Now it's real. I laughed at him for being sentimental about a bank account. I kept that memory more than almost any other one from our marriage. There'd been 2 losses before that account even had real money in it. The first one, 10 weeks, I barely told anyone, just Jenna and my mother. The second one hit different, 14 weeks, far enough along that we'd started saying when, not if. I remember Mark sitting in the hospital parking lot afterward, not saying anything, just holding my hand so hard it left a mark on my fingers. That's the night he said, whatever it costs, whatever it takes, we're doing if. I think some part of him decided that night he'd do anything to get us there. I didn't understand yet how far anything was going to stretch. So that Tuesday, I remember it was a Tuesday because I had parent-teacher conferences that afternoon. I opened the app to transfer the clinic deposit, $4,000 for the first round. And the number wasn't 79, it wasn't 75, it was 0. Looking back, and I've done a lot of looking back since, there were things. Small ones. He'd lost weight over the winter and said it was stress from a big job. He started taking calls in the truck instead of the kitchen. Twice I found him just sitting in the driveway after work, engine off, not coming inside for 10-15 minutes. I asked him about it once. He said, "Just tired, Sarah, long day." And I believed him, because why wouldn't I? You don't go looking for cancer in the man who still remembers to warm up your car on cold mornings. I thought it was a glitch. I called the bank from the school parking lot, still in my cardigan with the Apple pin on it, and a very calm woman on the phone told me the full balance had been wire transferred out 2 days earlier, to an account that wasn't ours. I said, "That's not possible. I have the login, I'd know." And she said, "Ma'am, it was authorized from your husband's login, on his phone." What the hell? I said, mostly to myself, because there wasn't anyone else in that parking lot to say it to. I don't really remember driving home. I remember the steering wheel. I remember my hands on it not feeling like my hands. Mark got home around 6:30. Same as always. Boots by the door, same as always. And I just stood in the kitchen holding my phone like evidence. I said, "Where's the money, Mark?" He didn't even ask which money. That's the part that got me. He didn't say what money, he just went still, the way you go still when you already know you've been caught at something. "I can explain," he said. which, nobody who's actually fine ever opens with "I can explain." I asked him again, "Where is it? Whose account?" And he wouldn't look at me. He was looking at the floor, at the cabinets, anywhere but me, and he said, "It's mine to explain when I'm ready." Mine, like it hadn't taken both of us 3 years of double shifts to build that. I said a lot of things I'm not proud of. I said, "Is there someone else?" He didn't answer that either, and God help me, the silence felt like a yes. I said, $75,000, Mark. That was our baby. That was every extra hour I gave up grading papers at 10 at night instead of sleeping. Where did it go? Don't you dare stand there and say it's complicated. Just tell me where the goddamn money went. And he just picked up his jacket off the chair. Calm, too calm, like he'd already decided this part before I even got home. He said, "I'm sorry. It's better this way." And he left. Not left the room. Left, packed a bag I found out later he'd had ready in the garage for 2 days. I sat on our kitchen floor until almost midnight. Cold tiles under me, phone in my lap, and I kept refreshing the account like the zero was going to change if I just looked at it enough times, like I could grade this into a different answer. In the morning, there was a note on the counter. 6 words. "It's better this way." That was it. 8 years, and that was the note. I called my friend Jenna at 6 a.m., and she came over in her pajamas with 2 coffees and just sat with me while I said the same 3 sentences over and over. He took the money. He's gone. There's someone else. I built a whole story in my head, and once I built it, I couldn't stop adding to it. I decided she was probably younger. I decided he'd probably been planning this for months, quietly moving money the way you'd quietly move furniture out before someone notices the apartment's half empty. I went through old photos on his laptop looking for her name, her face, any sign of her. I didn't find one, which somehow made it worse, not better, like he'd been careful, like he'd planned it that well. I remember sitting on our bed one night, his old laptop open, going through folders one by one like I was building a court case. Photos, emails, a folder labeled job quotes that turned out to just be job quotes. I kept clicking and clicking, faster and faster, sure that if I just found the right folder it would all make sense, there'd be a name, a face, a hotel receipt, something, and there was nothing. Just 8 years of us. Vacation photos. A video of him teaching our neighbor's kid to ride a bike. None of it fit the story I'd already decided was true, so I decided he'd just been careful. That's a strange kind of grief, being disappointed you can't find proof of the worst version of someone. 4 months. That's how long I lived inside that story. I saw a divorce lawyer in month 2, a woman named Renata, kind but blunt, who slid a legal pad across her desk and said, "Walk me through the account activity." I remember watching my own hand write out the timeline like it belonged to someone else's marriage. She told me, matter of fact, that emptying a joint account before disappearing was a pattern she saw a lot, and something about hearing it called a pattern, like I was one case among many, made it feel smaller and worse at the same time. I deleted our wedding photos off my phone in month 3, then re-downloaded them from the cloud 2 days later at 1 a.m, crying because I don't know. I don't know why I did that. Maybe some part of me wasn't ready to let the story be that simple. I told Jenna, he gets to just disappear, and I'm the one who has to explain to my mother why there's no wedding anymore. I told my students' parents I was going through a personal thing when I clearly hadn't slept. I told myself over and over that a man who really loved you doesn't drain your baby's future into a stranger's bank account and leave a 6-word note. I remember standing in front of my class in month 3, mid-lesson on fractions, and just stopping. Complete blank. 22 8-year-olds staring at me while I stood there with a marker in my hand, and one little girl, Maya, raised her hand and asked, very seriously, "Mrs. Whitfield, are you okay?" I said I was fine. I was not fine. I went into the supply closet at lunch and cried into a box of construction paper for 10 minutes, then washed my face in the staff bathroom and went back out and finished the lesson on fractions like nothing had happened. Turns out, I was better at compartmentalizing than I ever gave myself credit for. I wish that were a compliment. I believed that completely. I want you to know I believed it completely, because it matters for what's coming. 4 months to the day after he left, my phone rang from a Cleveland area code I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer it. I figured it was a robocall, or worse, his lawyer. It was a hospice. A woman named Patricia, very gentle voice. The kind of voice you use with someone you already know is about to fall apart. She asked if I was Sarah Whitfield, Mark's wife. I said estranged wife, because that felt true and important to say out loud. And she said, "He's been with us for 6 weeks. He's asking for you. I think you should come now, if you can." Come now is not a phrase hospice workers use loosely. I know that. Some part of my brain already knew that before she finished the sentence. I said, what facility? What is this? Is he sick?" And she said, very softly, "Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He's been fighting it for over a year." I don't have a good way to describe the next 30 seconds. I know I was standing in my classroom after the kids had left, red pen still in my hand from grading spelling tests. I know the pen fell on the floor. I know I said no out loud, alone, to an empty room, like arguing with her would undo it. A year. He'd known for over a year. He'd been carrying that alone for almost the entire time we were still sleeping in the same bed, still fighting about whose turn it was to do dishes, still planning nursery paint colors, still hopeful, still lying next to me every night with something eating him alive and never once saying the word. And my first feeling, God forgive me, wasn't even grief yet. It was fury. He let me hate him. For 4 months, he let me believe he was some coward who ran off with our money and another woman, when the whole time, shit, I said, out loud, alone in that classroom, like the word could hold the shape of what I'd just found out. It couldn't. The whole time he was dying, and he chose that. He chose the story where I hated him over the story where I watched him disappear. I drove to Cleveland that night. 2 hours, and I don't remember a single mile of it. I just remember the hospice building, fluorescent lights, and Patricia meeting me in the lobby with a face that told me everything before she said a word. Mark was thinner than I'd ever seen him. His hands that used to run electrical wire through walls without a second thought, could barely hold a cup of water. He saw me in the doorway, and he started crying before I even got to the bed. "You weren't supposed to find out like this," he said. "You weren't supposed to find out at all until what?" I said. "Until you were gone? You were just going to let me spend the rest of my life thinking you left me for someone else?" "Yes," he said. "Just yes, no hesitation." I did the math, Sarah. Hating me for a year is survivable. Watching me die for a year is not. I watched what it did to my mother when my dad went slow. "I wasn't going to do that to you, the money," I said. "Where did the money actually go?" He told me. An experimental trial out of a research hospital, not covered by insurance, cash up front, no guarantees, the kind of long-shot treatment where they tell you flat out, it probably won't work, but it might buy you time. $75,000 to buy himself, maybe a few more months. He said the oncologist told him honestly it likely wouldn't change the outcome. Yeah, I did it anyway. Figured what the hell, right? I couldn't spend our baby's money on my dying, he said. So in my head, I didn't. I moved it somewhere else first, so it would just be money, not baby W. Just money I spent trying to buy time. I know that doesn't make sense to anyone but me. It doesn't, I said. It doesn't make sense. You should have told me. Mark, I would have sat in every single appointment with you. I know, he said. That's exactly why I couldn't tell you I was angry at him in that room. I want to be honest about that, because it would be a lie to say I walked in and it all just melted into forgiveness. I was angry that he'd made a decision about my own pain without asking me. I told him that. He didn't argue with me. He just said, "You're right. I was probably wrong. I only had one shot at it, and I picked the way that hurt you least on paper." I don't know if it actually was. You don't get to decide what hurts me least, I said. That's not yours to decide alone. That was never yours to decide alone. He nodded, slow, like he'd already turned that thought over 100 times in the weeks before I got there. I know that now, he said. Lying in this bed gives you a lot of time to figure out what you got wrong. I didn't say anything back right away. I just sat there and let it be true, that we were both right and both hurt, and neither of those things canceled the other one out. Would you have told me, I asked him, if the treatment had worked? If you'd gotten better? He thought about that for a long moment. I don't know, he finally said. Maybe I would have just let you think I got lucky. I laughed, a short, ugly laugh, because it was such a Mark answer, practical to the point of being infuriating even from a hospital bed. That tracks, I told him. And for a second, just a second, it almost felt like us again. I stayed. 2 weeks. I slept in a recliner they wheeled into his room. I learned the names of every nurse on that floor. I held a cup for him the way he used to hold doors for me. We didn't fix 8 years of marriage in 14 days. We didn't need to. We just showed up. For each other. For the actual thing, instead of the story either of us had built about it. There was a window in that room that looked out over a parking lot. Not exactly scenic. But Mark liked it anyway, said it made him feel like the world was still moving even though his wasn't. One afternoon, maybe day 4, he was more alert than usual, and he asked me to tell him about my class. So I told him about a kid named Dominic who couldn't stop talking about dinosaurs, and Mark laughed, really laughed, for the first time since I'd walked in. And for about 90 seconds, it just felt like a Tuesday night at our kitchen table, like nothing had happened at all. Those 90 seconds are the ones I hold on to now, more than almost any of the ones from before all this. He told me things in that room he'd never said out loud before, that he used to be scared, back when we were first trying, that he wasn't going to be a good father. And part of him wondered if some of this was the universe letting him off the hook. That's not how any of this works, I told him. I know, he said. Doesn't stop the thought from showing up at 3 in the morning. I think that was the most honest either of us had been with each other in over a year. He died on a Thursday morning, just after 7. Patricia was the one holding my hand when the machines went quiet, not because Mark's family was far, but because by then she was the closest thing to family I had in that building. I called Jenna from the hospital parking lot the morning he died. She didn't even let me finish the sentence before she was already saying she was coming, already asking where to meet me. When I told her the whole thing, the trial, the money, the 14 months he carried it alone, she went quiet for a long time on the other end of the phone. Then she said, I yelled at you for staying angry at him for so long. I told you to move on. You didn't know, I said. Neither did I. Neither of us said much after that. Some things don't need a response. They just need someone to have heard them. The funeral was small. His crew showed up in their work boots, which felt right somehow, more right than anything anyone said at the service. One of them, a younger guy named Diego, who'd worked under Mark for 6 years, told me Mark used to talk about the wife at lunch breaks like I was something he'd built with his own hands and was proud of. I didn't know that. There's a lot I'm still finding out I didn't know. I want to tell you it made sense after that. It didn't, not for a long time. I went back to my classroom 2 weeks later because I didn't know what else a Tuesday was for. I graded spelling tests. I organized my gradebook the way I organize everything, in neat little rows. Like order was going to hold me together if I just kept the columns straight. What I have now is a voicemail he left me back when things were normal. Back before any of this. Just him laughing about something dumb one of his guys did on a job site. I play it sometimes. Not because it fixes anything. Because it's proof he was here, ordinary and alive, before he became a secret and then a hospital room. People want this story to end with a lesson. Communicate more. Tell your spouse everything. I don't actually know if that's the lesson. Maybe the lesson is just that people protect the ones they love badly sometimes in ways that cost everyone more than it saves. Maybe there isn't a lesson. Maybe there's just a room we never furnished, and a voicemail I still have saved, and $75,000 that bought him 4 extra months I wouldn't trade for anything, even now. The room's furnished now, by the way, not for a baby. I turned it into a little reading corner. Yellow chair, good light. Some mornings I sit in there with coffee before school, and it doesn't feel like grief anymore. Some mornings, it still does. I've stopped needing it to be one or the other. His number is still in my phone. I haven't deleted it. Every few months, I catch my thumb hovering over it. Not to call, I know there's no one on the other end. Just to look at his name one more time. I don't know if that's healthy. Jenna says it's fine. My mother thinks I should delete it. I haven't asked a therapist yet, though I probably will. Dominic, the dinosaur kid, is in 5th grade now. He still stops by my classroom sometimes after school lets out, tells me about whatever new fact he's learned about the Cretaceous period. I never told him why, some days, I look at him a little longer than I mean to. He reminds me of that 90 seconds in the hospice room, Mark laughing at a story about a kid who wouldn't stop talking about dinosaurs. Small, ordinary things end up carrying more weight than you'd expect. I think that's the part nobody tells you. That you can survive something without it ever fully resolving. And that's not failure. That's just what living through it actually looks like.